Ma'am, shall we start now? A very good morning to all the attendees of the session. I am Aarti Saini from the Center for Distance and Online Education, Lovely Professional University. I warmly welcome you all in our second proficiency workshop under the Professional Enhancement Program on the topic How to Deliver an Effective Presentation. So, first of all, I would request all the students who have joined through listen only mode, they can join again through microphone mode so that session can be more interactive. So I request all, you can leave the meeting now and join again through microphone mode so that you can talk and have interaction with your speaker. So now I'll talk something about our first PP session that we had. So the first web session we had was on the topic public speaking, and it was a wonderful session. We have got so many feedbacks and we have positively gone through all of them, and we appreciate your responses and look forward to have more such suggestions in future. And today also we'll share a feedback link at the end of the session. So I request all the students to share their valuable suggestions and topics on which they would likely to have more PEP session in future, so that we can organize the sessions accordingly. So I would request all to fill the feedback form at the end of the session. So now for taking you one more step closer to your career goals, today we have with us Ms. Namrata Kaushal ma'am, soft skill trainer, Center for Professional Enhancement, Lovely Professional University. We welcome you ma'am for today's session. Now, I would like to give you all a brief introduction about our today's speaker, Ms. Namrata Kaushal. So she has done Master of Social Work, Summa Cum Laude, postgraduate from Silver School of Social Work, New York University. She holds an expertise in communication, public speaking, and presentation skills. She approaches people from a strengths perspective to help them improve their performance by identifying that what lies latent within them. So, having traversed 40 countries, she comes equipped with a unique perspective of human behavior and how to connect with people. So, without taking much time, we would start the session now, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. And I promise I didn't give her anything to say all these nice things about me. But she has stolen my lines. Now, what do I say? So here's what I have to say. I'm Namrata, and let's make this a great session. All right? Now, how do we make this a great session? It is not just me talking to you. It is you talking to me as well. Otherwise, I am in a empty room. So who's my audience? You are. So talk to me. Ask me your doubts anytime as we go through this whole journey. But volume is low. Is it better now? Ranadeep Chakrabarti, better? Okay, give me a thumbs up if it is. Now, I want volunteers, at least 2-3 people to tell me why did you join this session. Who's going to tell me? It's feeling suppressed. That's not nice. Can you hear me better now? Am I better audible now? Aarti ma'am, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is better. My side, okay. I think Randeep, you should check your microphone or your speaker, what you are using. Kindly check because it is better my side.
Yeah. Okay. So who's going to tell me? Priyanka? How about you, darling? Why don't you tell me why did you join this session? What was your aim of joining this session? I have 41 people.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, yes, tell me.
Actually, this was my first session, which was I'm attending, so I'm just eagerly waiting what's actually going to happen. So that's what I've joined. Let me know actually what's the process going on and what you're gonna talk. I'm gonna get something interesting about anything.
Okay. So you do know it's on presentation skills, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm telling all of you, heads up. So if you're sitting in your lounge clothes, night clothes, change, because I'll expect you to turn on your camera. It's not fair you get to see me, I don't get to see you. Okay, so Priyanka, I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that you're excited to know what's it about. It's about
Yes.
presentation skills. But let me tell you something. What is presentation skills? Maybe you're thinking, is it PPT skills? How to give a professional presentation? Is it about how do you present yourself on stage? What is it? But before I tell you that, I want to tell you that, like Aarti ma'am mentioned, that I have strong public speaking skills. That wasn't the case always. That wasn't the case always, right? People always think that if somebody is speaking confidently or speaking well, they were born like this, right? They just have it in them. That is not true. I want to tell all of you that for me, I moved to the US when I was 18. So it was very different for me. And I realized that I had a language barrier. I realized that the only way I can make my presence felt was if I can convey my thoughts clearly. And then I got an opportunity in my university when I got to give a small speech. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my eureka moment. Like a eureka moment, Who's seen Laksh movie? Who's seen Laksh? Say yes here. Who saw that Laksh? No, Hrithik Roshan's movie, Laksh. Yes. So, Bhawmik, I'll tell you. No, he stands and he says, Ye raha mera Laksh, that is my Laksh. And that is when I realized that public speaking or the power to convey your thought was my Laksh, right? The art of nurturing this talent was my Laksh, right? Now, once you know what you want to do, that is a start. But how do you go that way, right? So like I said, now we come to what is presentation skills, right? Very simply put, without any, big words and jargons and definitions, very simply put, everybody, it is how you are presenting yourself in your best knowledge, in your best dress, as in not a fashion fiesta, but when you're neat and tidy, and in your best manners, right? So video is hanging. Why is video hanging? We don't want it to hang. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll encourage you all to please check your connectivity because mine seems to be fine here. But anyways, going back to what I was saying. So if you're doing these three things, if you know what you're talking about, if you're dressed properly, and if you're conveying your point with conviction and confidence, then you're presenting, right? Now you might say, but that is not presenting, that is day-to-day life. True. But guess what? We are presenting in our day-to-day life. And I'll talk about that right here. So where are we presenting ourselves? So where do you think we are presenting ourselves? In an interview? Yes? In a meeting. So when you go for an interview, good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. I'm Namrata, right? So you're presenting yourself. In a meeting, this is with your co-workers. All of you are professionals, right? So if you're sitting in a meeting, when you meet your co-workers for the first time, I met Aarti ma'am 2 days back. So I was presenting myself to her. Hello, Aarti ma'am, I'm Namrata. So there is some impression that goes there. There is some impression that Aarti ma'am made on me and I made on her, right? So that is happening in a meeting. So that's also your workplace. Now, you're not always meeting or interviewing at your office, no? So what is happening? You're walking to someone to give a file or collect something from them, or you're walking towards your break room, or you're walking towards your office and you see something and you're like, hi, right? Or you can also be like, hi. What are you doing? Presenting, right? So morning when you get up and you dress up and you leave home, you started presenting. So have no doubt to wait for a stage or to wait for an interview. You are presenting as soon as you step out of your house. Okay, then you have stage performances, which are the conventional ways of presenting, right? And then you have your formal PPTs, right, which you present. Now, you all know this best, and we have been introduced to it lately. The COVID pandemic online platform, right? This became the new natural normal, right? Now what was happening? Everybody is performing online. You're having online meetings, you're having calls, you're having WhatsApp calls, right? This was a whole new game. How many of you work online? How many of you work online or you work from home? How many of you do that? Show of hands. Tell me your name, darling. Tell me your name. How do you say it? I don't want to say it wrong. Dwepayan. Dwepayan? Am I right? Okay. Divya? What do you do, Divya?
I attend daily. Yeah, I work at Infosys as a operation executive, and I attend daily stand-up meetings and all that.
Okay, and all that. So what do you do before this meeting? You know, when you have this meeting, do you like comb your hair and then you're like, oh, okay, is the camera angle on? Okay, and all that. What are they saying in the video?
Yeah. I just ready myself for the meeting.
Perfect. And before every meeting, you have to do that, Divya, right?
Yeah, little bit of preparation.
Correct. So that is the whole point. The whole game has changed. First, when you got out of home, you just, pat yourself on the back and you're like, okay, my day started. But now the game has changed. Before every meeting, before every video conference, right, we have to check ourselves, right? So online platforms is a whole different form of presentation. Like now, if I was sitting with you here, if you all were sitting right here, there is so much more going on, right? There is body language, there is aura, there is no connectivity issues. I can walk around the room, there is energy. But on a platform like, an online platform, everything is very limited, right? So online platforms, one has to put even more energy. One has to be even more prepared, right? Same thing for social media. A lot of people use social media a little wrong. 1 second. Okay, so social media is another thing. We go and put up a lot of, we have an official WhatsApp number. If you have an official WhatsApp number, and if you put a picture there wherein you're, partying in Goa, guess what? You're presenting yourself, but you're presenting yourself inappropriately, right? So social media, yet again, what thoughts are you sharing? What statuses that you're putting? All of these things matter on social media. And then competitions. When you have competitions, debate, declamation, singing, or even at work, You know, all of us are competing with somebody at work, right? Nobody is just working in isolation. So if I need a promotion, you know, I'm competing with 5 others for that promotion. What does that mean? It means I am actually having to present myself better than the other 5. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I see Shivam and Reshmi. Is it any questions about what we're talking?
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Is your network fine? I mean, students are saying that your video is lagging in between.
My network, I'm on the network which I have been given, the fast one.
Okay.
Should I just try a different network, see if that works better?
Ma'am, it is fine now. I mean, it's fine from our side.
Namrata ma'am, we have asked the Infotech team to increase your internet speed.
All right, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. So here we are. Why do we present? Where do we present? Right? Okay. So now let's go to a very important part, which is, can anybody be a good presenter? Or does it have to be a certain type of people or person? Who thinks they can be a good presenter and who thinks they cannot? Class of 49 folks, who thinks they're good at presenting? Who thinks, no, I'm not good at presenting? Somebody, show of hands. Amelia? Who thinks they're not good at presenting? Arzu? Amelia, what do you think? You have some... Hello? Jatinder? Jatinder, what do you think? Tell me. Jatinder Kaur, what is your thought process? You think you're good at it? You think you're not good at it? I'm not good at presentation. Okay, can you tell me why? What happened? Why you think you're not good at presentation? You can talk, you know.
Students, you can unmute yourself and interact with ma'am.
Because that's when it's going to be fun and informative. Otherwise, it's going to be, I'll be talking and you'll be listening like this and you'll say, oh, okay, 1.5 hours wasted. Okay. Arzu, did you have to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I am good presenter.
Very good. And why do you think that?
Because, ma'am, I think I am teaching up to 10th standard students mathematics. So my way of presenting is, I think, good. All the students understand me very clearly. That's why I am good presenter.
Oh, okay. No, I understand. See, it takes a teacher to understand a teacher's issue. Okay, good. I do understand that. And yes, we do have that strong point
Yes, sir.
wherein we can explain. That is true.
Yes.
But did you always think you were good at presenting when you were a small little girl, small student yourself?
Yes, ma'am. At the time of teaching, I think I am a good presenter.
No,
Because
but when you were growing up, what about then, childhood?
in the childhood, yes, ma'am, there is some glitch in. Sometimes I think I am not good presenter.
Okay. And why was that? Why did you think you were not good?
Sometimes I do not clear the things within the. That's why.
Yeah, we all do that. So now
Yes.
I'm going to break this myth, you know.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to be an extrovert. You know how they say good presenters are people who love people, who are people's people, who are always like, la, 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 I'm happy, and they, you know, go
Yes.
out. That is not true. I'm not too much of an extrovert. Once I go back from university, I want to do my work, I want to read my book, and I want to sleep. I don't have too many friends. But when you give me a topic to speak on, I come alive, because I'm passionate about it. So, you don't have to be an extrovert to be a good presenter, right?
Yes.
Second thing, a lot of people think this. You need to know excellent English. Excellent English. That is also not true. You don't need to be like, I don't know, Shakespeare. No, you don't. You need to have good enough command on what you're trying to convey. And let me tell you one secret, just between all 50 of us. Don't use big words, okay? People don't understand them. I don't understand them, right? And I have fairly decent English, and I'm like, what did he just say? What did she, what, right? When you are presenting, you have to use simple language, right? You have to use simple English. What is the point? The other person has to understand you effectively. That is that whole effective presentation thing, right? So, use simple, normal, convey the message. Yeah, Durai, you get the point. Excellent. So, the point is you have to convey your meaning. Third, very important, you have to have a unique point of view, I'm going to present what you have never heard before. No. If you go to one communication class and hear that, then you go to another communication class and hear that, you will like one class more than the other. Same for maths, physics, chemistry, whatever, right? So, it is not true that you need to have a unique topic. You have to convey it uniquely. You have to convey it convincingly, right? Video is lagging again, Ankita. I'm so sorry. What do we do? This is not happening today.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yeah, Jatinder, you are. You want to say something, darling?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not good at presentation, ma'am. I can't present myself in a good way because I think I don't have that confidence. I don't know why, but I'm also doing a work, but I'm always just stay quiet in the meetings and all.
Okay. That happens to the best of us. And I'll tell you why that happens. Somewhere, all these points that I'm talking about, that you have to be an extrovert, people put that in our mind. That, oh my God, people are going to laugh at you if you say the wrong thing. Then what will happen? What will happen? Okay, they'll laugh. I'll also laugh with them. And it'll be over. So what? Do you remember, Jatinder, who do you spend the most time with?
Most of the time I am with my brother.
Okay.
Brother only.
Do you? So last time, when did you have a fight with your brother? Or an argument?
I don't think so, ma'am. Last time, I think last year in a COVID only. When we were...
Okay. Do you even remember what was it about or exact word, what he said, blah, blah, blah? No?
No, ma'am. I don't remember.
You don't remember? Last time, when was it that you got into an argument with your boss? What are you doing, Jatinder? What do you do?
Ma'am, basically, I'm doing a job in a Flipkart.
In Flipkart. So when was the last time you had an argument with your boss or colleague or, not a very nice feeling with them?
When I start doing job in February.
In Feb. So do you remember what words you said to each other, whatever? Now you've forgotten that also, na? Ho gaya, what time ho gaya? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is the same thing about presenting in meetings. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to be funny. It is okay to be laughed at. Even if I make a mistake and somebody laughs, so what? And that is the biggest reason why we don't open our mouth, because we don't want to sound silly. We don't want to sound stupid. We don't want anybody to laugh at us. Right? So, you need to take that out, and we'll talk about that later. But right now I was saying that to be a good presenter, you don't need to be an extrovert, you don't need excellent English, you don't need to have a unique point of view, right? You don't need to start early in life. Oh, I won all poem competitions in school. No, I was debate champion in school. Guess what they're doing now? They're definitely not in public speaking for the most part. So public speaking, presenting, communication is an art that you can develop the minute you decide you want to pursue this. Okay? So now let's come to the art of storytelling. Now, this is a very big part of presenting, right? So, everybody, Jatinder, Durai, Ankita, Ishwar, all of you all. You're right, Ishwar, you need to have an effective voice tone. But equally important is to have an effective story. Okay? Now I'm going to ask you one thing. Do you remember when we were all kids, whose mama told them a bedtime story? Who heard bedtime stories when they were small? Mom told her. Durai, what story she told? What story did she tell, Durai? Turn on your mic, tell me, no? Ishwar also heard bedtime stories. What did you tell? What were the stories like? Mama started like this, no? Once upon a time, long ago, or एक था राजा, एक थी रानी, right? Even if you look at Suraj, what story did your mom tell you?
Ma'am, it was mostly about ghosts.
Ghosts? Your mom was like, I'm going to scare you, you stay in bed. You are a naughty child, no, Suraj?
Yes, ma'am.
See, I can tell. So now, where are you from, Suraj?
I am from Lucknow, UP.
Okay. So from Lucknow, rather UP, we have a very प्रसिद्ध poet, Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, who wrote a poem called Krishna Ki Chetavni. Have people heard of it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Rasmi Rathi.
हाँ. वर्षों तक वन में घूम घूम, बाधा विघ्नों को चूम चूम.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
धूप छाँव पानी पत्थर, पांडव आए कुछ और निखर. सौभाग्य न हर दिन सोता है, देखें आगे क्या होता है. Remember that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. If you realize, all of you, this is a poetry written on the Mahabharata by Ramdhari Singh Dinkar ji. It's a beautiful poem. And it is a story in poetry. Can you see? Dekhe aage kya hota hai. He's telling about the Pandavas, right? Now we want to know what happened aage, what happened next. If you also look at other poems like Rani Jhansi, or if you look at poetry like Tum Mujhe Khoon Do, Main Tumhe Azadi Dunga, they are all full of stories, right? And you know, even before this online social media, before presenting skills and everything, poetries and stories and songs were how people conveyed their message to the world, at least in our culture. Even in Europe, for that matter, they would go to a village and they would sing songs on laurels. They would sing, tell stories, so people would know what is happening in the world, and then they would tell the same story to their children and their children. And that is how stories traveled, right? Now, one more thing. Story always had a moral, right? In the end, after your mom finished the story, she said, okay, Ishwar, that is why you should always be a brave boy, right? Or, okay, Ankita, that is why you should never be greedy, right? So there was a message, right? There was information long, long ago in a city or in a village. For Suraj, this story is for Suraj. Long, long ago, outside the village, there was a ruin, and every day weird noises came from there. because it was surrounded by a rainforest. So there is information. So one, there is a message. In the end, a moral and moral and a message. Then there is information. Okay. Then there is, like Vidya Balan said, entertainment, entertainment, entertainment. Right? That is why we remain glued. That is why the whole day, whether we listen to our mother or not, in the night when she said story time, we sat down to listen very carefully. Okay, tell us. Right? So storytelling has to be a part of your presentation skills. Now let's say when I started this presentation, I told you why I chose communication and presentation and public speaking, right? Had I not done that, and I would have just been, okay, today we are here to talk about presentation skills. And the first slide is about what are presentation skills. Let me talk about that. Then what would have happened? What would have happened? Then I would have lost you, right? Because everybody is like, oh, this I can see on YouTube, right? This I can just Google. Why do I need to be here? Vepian is absolutely correct. You need to draw a picture in your audience's mind, which is also called establishing an emotional connect. Ishwar, what do you do? Ishwar? Or Vepian, Mr. Bhomik, what do you do?
So I'm a senior tech for a web developer team. So I work for US practices, and the software they use, we sort of help them resolving their problem and developing it on some parts. That is what we do.
Okay, so I know what you do. So if I asked you now, can you tell me something about yourself? Because this, what you told me, is very technical, right? I do this for a US company, blah, blah, blah. Very good, great. Now, if I ask you to tell you, okay, why don't you tell me something about yourself? What would you do?
So I would go with my name, then where do I belong from? Like
do it, just tell me.
Okay, I say it, okay. So I am from Calcutta, West Bengal. And I did my schooling from Augustine's Public School, post which I did a diploma in multimedia animation from Jadavpur University. And then due to certain situation, I had to, put a hold on to my studies, and I had to move to, I have to look for a job basically to support my family. And now I'm back on my way to learn to complete my graduation and make myself something, do something bright in the future.
First of all, I'm so proud to hear that you made such a sacrifice for your family. Good job. We need more people like you. And second of all, now I'm going to do the teacher thingy, which is your technical introduction and your personal introduction was not very different. You said who you are, where you're from, what school. Again, no emotional connect. Till you spoke about why you had to leave, go support your family, and now you're coming back to start studying again and make something of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, I know who Vepian is. He's not just some student who went to some guesting school and he's doing something with one American company and what all you said. No, I don't remember that. But I will always remember this, Vepian, that you made the sacrifice for the betterment of your family, and now you're investing on yourself to do better. And that, my friends, is called the emotional connect. Now, how could you have made this even better? When you talk about your technical skills, you could have been like, ever since I was a little boy, I was very interested in computers or solutions or whatever it is that you do. And it was a natural progression for me to get into this. So I'm very passionate about my job, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction. However, unfortunately, because of this, now that would be perfect. But knowingly or unknowingly, Vepian has done what is called the emotional connect, which is always very important. Now, what has happened? I will always remember him. 1. 2, I will have respect for him. 2. 3, I will always know that he is somebody who can be dependable, who can rise to the occasion, and who's driven to do something about yourself. So when you're presenting yourself, you should always remember this. There has to be an emotional angle to it. What did you struggle with, or what you are very, and it doesn't need to be sad always. It doesn't need to be a struggle. It can be a happy thing, right? But it needs to be yours. It needs to be original. Okay? So
Absolutely,
very
ma'am.
good job on that, Retta. And
Thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah. So that is what is called an emotional connect. Now, how do you build a bridge? How do you build a bridge? What we are doing right now with Suraj, with Vepin, with Ishwar not being able to talk because he's in office, with Jatinder, with Arzu, these are all bridges. These are all bridges. Had I just been talking and you just been listening, forget about you, even I would get bored. I'd be like, okay, 4 more slides left, right? But when you are presenting yourself, you have to create bridges. You have to make an emotional connect. So now I've given you an example. What is a bridge? I've given you an example what an emotional connect is. Now socialize beforehand. Right? What does it mean to socialize beforehand? It is very difficult on an online platform. But when you go to a room to present, there are people waiting for you, right? Go and say hi to them. Half of the time, like Jatinder, in a meeting and everything, you're quiet because you don't know people. I want you all to think, when you're with friends, that time you're not scared. No, you say anything that comes to your mouth. Right? You present yourself so confidently when you're with your friends, family. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? What happens in a meeting? You don't know those people and that puts you off. You're like strangers, nervous. You're frozen. You're like, let me not say anything wrong. Right? But if you socialize beforehand, when you go before the meeting, go 3-4 minutes pehle. Sit there, be like, hi ma'am, I'm so-and-so. What's your name? What do you do? I'm from here. Where are you from? When you have familiarity, you will be more confident. Then you're among friends, right? So it becomes better. Okay? All right. Now the next thing is, what all we have done, we know what presentation means. We know where all we are presenting ourselves. Okay? We know the myth. So all these people who say, you need to know great English, you need to start young, you need to have something unique, all that is wrong. Right? You just need to decide that this is what I have to work on, and going tomorrow, I'm going to be presenting myself. I'm not just going to be walking into office. I'm going to be like, hi, good morning. Whoever I meet, I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to familiarize myself. So we know that, and we know the art of storytelling now. What does that mean? Everybody says, tell a story, tell a story. Now, the story has to be relevant though, right? If when we start talking, and we are talking about communications, and we are talking about presentation skills, and suddenly I tell you, I want to tell you about what's happening about, when I came back to India, coronavirus spread immediately, and you'll be like, oh, I thought this was communication class, I thought this was presentation class, what is she talking about? It has to be relevant, right? So I shared with you why I decided to take up presentation and communication, right? So it has to be relevant. Okay. There is another thing I'm going to tell you. Now, this is also a big secret. 53 people only know it, okay? Pay attention. Now, I need somebody to help me out in this. Who will talk to me? Somebody talk to me. This is an example I want to give you, and I want to see how you react in that example. I need one volunteer. Somebody turn on their camera or turn on their microphone. Weber.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Weber.
I volunteer. Hi, ma'am.
So, Weber, I want you to imagine this.
Okay,
Go
ma'am.
into a bus. Okay? Bus. Weber is in Delhi, no DC bus you get into. And your
Yes.
bus journey is 20 minutes. Okay? So 20 minutes is the bus journey. And as soon as you get in, there are 4 or 5 people sitting there who have empty spaces next to them. There's the bus is crowded. So one, there is an old man who's constantly talking. Okay? Then there is a middle-aged man who probably, looks like your father and who's probably in his 60s and who's, looks very serious. Then there is another kid who has earphones on and you can hear his ninja coming out of his ears. Then there is a lady who's sitting, okay, looks like a professional. And there is another person who's sitting, who's digging his ear. Right? So when you go in, what do? Who are you going and sitting next to?
In case I have all the 5 seats, I'll probably sit next to the person who looks like my father.
Great. So listen, everybody, what he just said. He decided to go sit next to the person who looks like his father. The reason for that is that can everybody?
Ma'am, your voice is not audible and your video is stuck too. Students, we can wait for 2 minutes. Ma'am is joining again. Students, we have to wait just for 2 minutes. Ma'am is joining again just because of some network issue and the bad weather. So just wait for 1 more minute.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Aarti ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am, I can hear you, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay, great. All right, great. So I was saying, so Vaibhav chose to sit next to somebody who looks like his dad. Okay? That is because, newsflash, all decisions are based on bias. So even if I say I'm a very fair person, if I see somebody digging his ear, somebody digging his nose, somebody coughing constantly, somebody listening to dinchak music, even though I have to sit only for 15 minutes, it's just 15 minutes ride in a DTDC bus, he still chose to sit near somebody who looks like his dad, who looked nice enough to sit next to, who felt familiar. So that is human psychology, everybody. All of our decisions, whether we like it or not, are rooted in like and dislike. So always remember this. So when we go on stage or when we present ourselves, people like familiarity. People like people to be like them, approachable, easy, helpful, smiling, not somebody, who's all uptight and who's very different, right? So that connect has to be there. Okay, so remember this. This is a big one. Even in your workplace, everywhere, all decisions are rooted in bias, like or dislike. So always try to be in the like zone. Okay. All right. So next, I, for some reason, I'm just going to upload this. Does anybody have any questions till now? So far, any questions? Are you with me? Are you struggling with any of the things we spoke about till now? All right. So now we go to the next part, which is confidence is a choice. Now I want you to understand this, okay? We started with what is presentation, right? Presentation is how we are presenting ourselves. Where? In an interview, in meetings, in workplaces, in parties, on stage, right? PPTs, online platforms, social media, competitions. What is not required to be a good presenter? Nothing. All you need is your mindset. I want to be a good communicator. I want to be able to present myself well. That's it. Everything else, people are trying to influence us. Don't let that happen. Now, the art of storytelling, this was a little stretched out because this is very important and this is where the heart of a presenter lies, right? Your art of storytelling. How do you keep people interested, right? So this is an important one. If I talk about socialize beforehand, before I go to the next slide, you remember how we had all of you saying hi, hello, and everything? Now, what if I would not have said hi to any one of you? And I would have just waited for my turn. Okay, let Aarti ma'am introduce me. When my time starts, that's when I'll start talking to people. How would you feel? Anybody? How would you feel? Balvinder, how would you feel if I didn't say hi to you? You know how Vijay Babu, Rupesh, Durai, all of you said hi ma'am. And what if I didn't acknowledge? Like, okay, my time has not come. I will start talking to them. The presentation starts. So, okay, because you guys are not answering, I'm just going to go ahead and answer. It is not a very nice feeling. You would have been like, she just has to say hi. Why can't she say hi? Or you would have felt bad, right? Or you would have felt unacknowledged, right? Ignored. That is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Ignored, right? So you definitely don't want to ignore people. Yeah, that was the idea, right? And it's not just for you. Remember this. It is not just for your audience, it's also for yourself. So now I don't feel like I'm meeting you all for the first time. I know, that Jatinder is struggling with something. I know Arzu feels that she's doing good at class. I know Ishwar is at work and he's quietly listening to this. I know Dwapyam even more better, right? I know Suraj, I heard ghost stories at night. So it is also for me, right? It is also for me to connect with you so that I also feel comfortable. Instead of just coming into this room where there is nobody in front of me and then I'm sitting, I'm like, oh my God, 51 professionals, not students, professionals. What do I talk to them? What do I tell them that they don't know already? So this socializing beforehand does what? It warms the environment. It creates a nice, healthy vibe. Okay? So always remember to do that. Even when you go and you're not presenting and you're sitting to listen, always say hi to people next to you. It's nice. Do that in an elevator too. When you get into an elevator, how we stand? When can we get out of here? When can we get out of here? Just smile. What if you're stuck in it? You better be nice to these people, they'll help you, right? Okay. So, now that we know what story we want to tell and we have to tell a story, let's come to confidence is a choice, right? For all those people who are hesitant to speak, for all those people who think they cannot do good presentations, for all those people who struggle with this, what if I say the wrong thing, right? You have to know that confidence is a choice, right? You can either decide to be confident or not, right? So you have to pretend to be confident in times when you're not very sure, right? We know these things. When you're sitting at home and suddenly your neighbor comes and is like, hi, how are you? What are you doing, Amelia? What's happening, Priyanka? What are you cooking? What do you say? Suddenly you change, no? That time you would be yelling at your brother or somebody, and as soon as your neighbor comes in, you'll be like, hi, please come, please come. I'm just making some pakoras. Why don't you have some pakoras, right? We know how to pretend. We do it every single day. It is just this that when we have to present, we forget. Right? When we need it the most, we forget. So always remember, this is something you'll have to practice. It has to come, and the more you interact with people, the more you force yourself to be in an uncomfortable zone. You know, a lot of people standing there all talking, laughing. What do I go and say there? That is where you need to go. And that is where you need to try and say something. Okay? Because it's a choice. You have decided, I want to be a better communicator. You have decided, I want to be a better presenter. But that decision without doing anything is just like you sitting and thinking, right? So take that first step. Communicate clearly. What does it mean? Tone. Amelia had said some time back, or was it Ishwar, I think. The tone has to be clear. The voice has to be clear, right? How will it be clear? What if I took this session like this? Confidence is a choice. Pretend confidence, right? Confident. You'd be like, what? Now, again, this is an important one, right? Pitch of voice, Divya, you're absolutely right, is important. But you know what is the most important tool for communication? It is right here, this. Variation in speech also, Mangalam, but here. How you look, eye contact. Not like this, but contact. You're not talking to everybody. Smiling. When you're listening, you're bobbing. Yeah, acknowledging. If I don't do anything, okay, I want you to do this. Divya, can you say this line for me, please? I'm having fun at a party. Can you say that? I'm having fun at a party.
I am having fun at party.
But Divya, you're not sounding like you're having fun at. No.
Okay.
Voice is like, I'm having fun at a party. See that voice? How it's changed?
I'm having fun at a party.
Oh, there you go, girl. Can you turn on your camera? Is it okay? I have given rights, I think. Did I lose you, Divya?
No, I'm just turning on my camera. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, and clap for the first person on video apart from me. Very good. All right, Divya. So can you say, I'm having fun at a party?
Okay. I'm having fun at party.
Perfect. Now, can you say, I'm very sorry for your loss?
I'm very sorry for your loss.
See how your face went, I'm very sorry for your loss. Like this happened, no? That is the most important part of communication. What if you said like this, I'm very sorry for your loss? Then that person would like beat you. Like, what do you mean you're making fun of me? Okay, say you have beautiful eyes.
You have beautiful eyes.
See, you have beautiful eyes. Like that you'll say. If you say, you have beautiful eyes, then?
She got hurt.
People will not believe. Thank you so much, Divya. If you want, you can put the camera. Thank you. So this is the whole part about communication. This has to speak as well, right? So what you're saying, how you're saying also matters, right? So communication is not the word alone. Expression, voice modulation, right? So Mr. Bhaumik is absolutely right. Voice modulation, facial expression, eye contact and body language. Dwapin, you're going to take my job from me. Right? I'm going to lose my job to you. You know everything. So
no, ma'am. It just comes with experience. I'm sure you know that.
Right. But I'm very happy to read that. You're absolutely right. So the second,
Thank you so much.
is use humor. Okay, Divya. How you can use humor? You're giving a presentation on, profit and loss of company. How much money the company made. The company is in loss. Everybody is serious. Everybody is looking like this. Oh my God, where will next salary come from? Nobody is interested more. What will you do?
If the situation was more tensed, I'll start with a small joke to break the tension, and then start with the current situation of the company.
What joke will it be? Like what joke you'll tell?
It's irrelevant to the It's irrelevant to the situation.
Which is irrelevant to the situation.
I think so.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. You can do that. But what happens in that? Suddenly you're talking about some joke. Oh, the elephant and the ant. You know what the elephant told the ant, and there is like $5 million loss written, and you're talking about the elephant and the ant. So another important point. Always keep your joke, your humor about the subject, but it should not be crass. For example, in this situation, when you're talking profit loss, and you can say, so obviously we're not doing too well. Should I turn off the air conditioning? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Why? Because air conditioning costs money, no? You're already in loss. So very subtle, or for that matter, if you're talking about domestic violence, right? So you can all, somewhere in middle when you're talking about violence and, emotional abuse, financial abuse and all that, you can just say, all right, lighten up everybody. This doesn't have to happen with everyone. So, or maybe we should have everybody has to stop for 5 seconds and have a sip of water because this is getting heavy, right? Something like that. Okay, so you can use humor. You need to find a mentor, right? You definitely need to find a mentor. It can be your boss. It can be somebody who's good at presentations. It can be a star, a film star, a rock star, somebody's style that you like, okay? But somebody you can relate to. And then you need to look the part. We will talk about looking the part. You need to prepare. If you don't know your content, however confident you look, however nice you look, however smartly you speak, you will always fall short, right? Because people will be like, okay, she was nice, but she did not know what she was talking about, or he does not know his craft. So always prepare thoroughly and think positive. That everybody tells you, we are a civilization that is based on tolerance and thinking positive. Nothing new that I'm going to tell you there. Okay. To be able to tell the right story and to be able to tell the right jokes, to be able to connect with your audience, you need to know what do they need? What do you need? Right? So if, Divya, what are you struggling with? What is your biggest challenge in presentation?
Struggling with.
Sorry?
What are you expecting as like struggling with or without?
So, wait, what is your challenge?
I can't express my ideas in normal ways. Means I will miss. There is some miscommunication happens while presenting. Yeah.
Okay, so probably vocabulary, articulation. Who else is struggling with what? Anybody else wants to share? What are you struggling with? Anybody else? Not talking in their mother tongue. So you are not able to talk in your mother tongue, or they are not able to talk? Rupesh? While we wait for the clarification. So whatever your challenge is, I need to know that challenge to talk about it, right? Now, if I know that you're struggling with conveying what you're saying articulately, I know that there has to be somewhere practice, there has to be somewhere vocabulary, right? You need to improve on vocabulary and confidence. It's a combination of three things. But if I don't know what is Divya's challenge, if I don't know what Priyanka is struggling with, if I don't know what Arzu is struggling with, or I don't know what Rupesh is, they are not giving chance to talk in mother tongue. Yeah, that could be an issue. So if he doesn't have an opportunity to talk, then how will I address that? And if I just start talking about, presentation should be minimum of 10 slides and you need to spend 2 on each slide. If I start talking about all that, you will be like, my need is not being addressed, so people will lose interest. So always know what people need, what your audience needs. And then when you know it, set clear expectations, right? You need to tell them that one session is not going to change everything. It will give you a good starting point, right? It will give you a good starting point. Jatinder, that is just that, ye hai mera laksh. You have to think of that and now start talking to people. Get distracted on path, that is lose focus. So what do you do for people who lose focus? You keep notes. And there is nothing wrong in keeping notes. In fact, the more professional you are, the more you know about the content, you keep notes. Because you're all human beings, no? Fear in the mind is to make eye contact. Well, that goes into human behavior, Vijaya. That's also cultural. In our culture, how when we were growing up and our parents were yelling at us and you looked at them, how would they tell us, oh, you're looking at inside my eyes? You're looking at my eyes? You know how in the movies they say? So culturally also we are never taught to make eye contact and, we're not taught to make eye contact and speak. Right? So these are things that we need to, I'm usually good if I'm prepared. That is something I was just going to tell you in one, I've already told you and I'm going to tell you again, it's coming up, that if you know your content, then you are king. If you don't know your content, all the sides, remember we spoke about that I might be really presentable, I might be saying fancy words and all of that, I might be entertaining, but if I'm not saying relevant, knowledgeable things, I'll not be able to grab your attention. Knowledge is power. Absolutely, Mangalam. The other thing we need to do is we need to listen, right? While we are talking, we also need to listen. Now, here I can't listen, but I'm paying attention to what you're writing, right? So if somebody has written that the eye contact is an issue, I'm immediately giving you my perspective on that. Now, it will not be simple because there are 50 people, maybe some 1 or 2 people I'll miss because I'm also in a flow. But if I can address 7 to 8 people, then people know that that is a genuine mistake. It's not that she's not listening to us, right? So build listening skills. Neutral terms, right? When you go into a room, don't say, good morning, sir, good morning, sir, good morning, sir, good morning, ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Say hello, everybody, right? Neutral terms. Because what if you say, good morning, gentlemen, and there is one lady sitting in the corner and you're not seeing her, she'll be like, oh, mere ko to nahi bola, right? So neutral terms. Open body language. If I take the class like this, how would you feel? Like, is she a robot or what? I'm using my hands, I'm using my eyes, I'm using my facial expressions, I'm smiling, I'm frowning. So there is some interest, okay? Recognize and respect. So if there is a challenge, today when we started class, there was a challenge in getting connected. So I have to recognize, okay, there's something happening. I cannot just keep going on and on and on about me. I don't care about you. I have 1.5 hours. I have to finish my slides. I am talking. You listen or not, I don't care. Wrong. You have to recognize if there is an issue and you have to respect it. You have to try and fix it. And personal differences. Yes, now we are connected, Rupesh. Of course, you better come for my next workshop also, or anybody else who's taking the next workshop. We have some really awesome people here. Okay, so personal differences. We can agree to disagree, right? I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to help you make your mind. All good presenters will have this one thing in common. They are not there to change your mind. They are there to help you decide which way you want to go, whichever way it might be, right? So, when you know, when you have made an emotional connect, you have told your story, when you know your content, then talk to them in these ways. You tell them, you acknowledge their fears and concerns, you listen to them, and you keep in touch, right? So, do I look the part? Remember I told you we'll talk about this later? If you look at the slide, and if I asked you, so really quickly, who's going to tell me what does this gentleman do in this blue suit who's sitting next to the lady in the sari, no? What does he do? What does he do? What is his profession? Who'll tell me? Write quickly in the chat box. Is he a salesman? Is he a doctor? Is he an engineer? What is he? Nobody's guessing? Mangalam, Rupesh, Vijay Babu, Ishwar. I think manager, correct. Businessman or entrepreneur, correct. And how are we taking these? And this person right on the left with both of his hands on that one blue shirt he is wearing. In the end. Right side end. What is this person doing? What does he do? Who'll tell me what does he do? Quickly, quickly. Priya, teacher. Okay. Government job. Priya said government job. No, Suraj said government job. Priya said teacher. Emlia said clerk. Why? Technocrat. I also thought, Sundar Pichai and all, they dress up like this when they're not working. So, depends on how the other person perceives your dress code, right? Perceives how you're looking. Is your beard made or not? Is your hair combed or not? Are you wearing the right shade of lipstick? Is your sari well pleated? So you have to look apart, right? Imagine if I'm a doctor and I'm sitting in one Hawaii shirt and shorts, right? My hair is like all like this, and I'm like, yo, come on in. I might be the best doctor, but will you come to me? I'm like, wait a minute, am I in the right room? Right? So your profession goes with a switch. So that you have to make sure that you are showing what you do. Handling. Now in this, I cannot tell you enough. Preparation, 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 preparation. If you know your content, the more you know your content, your text, your issue, the better you will be, right? Physical appearance, not only for others, but more importantly for yourself. I know on days when I look good, I feel I'm looking good, I feel more confident, right? If I feel I have dark circles, or if I feel like, oh, I'm not feeling good today, I'm not feeling confident. Now there is a difference. I'm not saying you have to look good, like all men have to look like Hrithik Roshan and Shah Rukh Khan, and all of us have to look like Deepika Padukone and Katrina Kaif. No. But we have to look well groomed. We have to look like we brushed, like we had a bath, like we combed our hair, like we go and shop for our clothes. We don't just wear anything that we find wherever, right? Everything is crumpled, stinky. That is what I mean by physical appearance. Personality traits, right? Smile, be polite, say hello, say goodbye, say thank you, say sorry, say please, right? Don't be like this, your nose in the air. What? I'm sorry, I don't waste my time. If I don't have work, I don't talk to people. Don't be like that. Don't take unfamiliar roles last minute, right? Don't take. Last minute somebody says, oh, please take this meeting. No, no. If I have not prepared, I will not do it. Because one thing is when I'm giving my presentation and I make a quick mistake is different, right? But I don't want to sound like I don't know anything. Let me come to mistakes. Make your mistakes. Just don't make the same mistake again. Try not to make the same mistake. Now, quick fixes. If something goes wrong, what do we do? Or how do we prepare that we don't go wrong? Think and you think right. Remember we said be positive. Interact with your audience in advance. This also we discussed, right? Otherwise, we are so nervous when suddenly you open the screen and so many people, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But if you interact, you warm up. Don't present the subject, talk about it. Breathe, okay? Visualize. So when I'm talking, when I'm talking to you, I'm visualizing it so I can express it better. Somebody said that they don't, I think it was Divya. She said that, I cannot express what I want to express. Visualize it. Watch your idols, right? See how Amitabh Bachchan says, वापस आके हम खेलेंगे कौन बनेगा करोड़पति, right? Somewhere that might help. I'm not saying you have to be Amitabh Bachchan. I'm saying look at the people you really admire and see what qualities they have. Find a friendly face in the crowd. This happens more when everybody is sitting, okay? So before your big day, what do? You prepare your content and your clothes. You set your bag. You keep your water bottle. You keep your phone, your diary, pen, right? You Google your route where you have to go. If you don't have to go anywhere, if you're taking an online meeting, you make sure your desk is clean, the background is plain, right? You still keep a bottle of water. You keep a kaanch ka glass, a glass. You don't keep a steel glass, right? You have relevant numbers. If something goes wrong, like I have Aarti ma'am's number, in case we get disconnected, something happens, she knows, right? You eat light. Why? Next day, you don't want gurgur in your tummy, when you're going for an interview, when you're going for a presentation. Instead of finding the stage, you're finding a bathroom, right? So you eat light. You sleep on time, so you're well rested because you want to be presentable and you want to be sharp. If you're not sharp, then there's no point, right? You'll come across as not so intelligent. That we don't want, right? You meditate. When I say meditate, I mean you do what gives you happiness. So you get up in the morning, you listen to 70s songs or Hindustani music, Western classical, or you go for a run, you go to jog, you go to the gym, or you sit and have tea with your parents or your spouse or your children, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever gives you happiness, gives your mind peace. Always make at least half an hour, 1 hour for that in the morning, right? You owe it to yourself. Because only then you can do all of these big things that we spoke about, right? But if you yourself are so tired, then you'll not be able to do that. Right? And get there on time. It's true. Even if it is an online platform, if my meeting was at 9:30, I was here by 9:20. I had logged in. And Ranadeep, you're absolutely right. It is simply the film for what we want to project in the people's perception. That is true. Yes. But that is a very important point, Ranadeep. You want to project, but you don't want to be sick, right? Don't be someone else. You do you best. Only be your best version, right? So be your best version. Do what is comfortable. If somebody is saying, come in, first start your presentation with a song, if you're not comfortable, don't do it. If somebody is saying, come and start your presentation with a quote, if you're not comfortable, don't do it. If you go to a party and you're not comfortable with a particular crowd, it's all right. You don't have to go present yourself there, right? If your boss always wants you to go and praise them and you're not comfortable doing it, don't do it. But definitely do it when he deserves it, right? Don't be mean, like still do. Always be the best version of you, right, Priyanka? That is right. Be human. If you can make mistakes, others can also make mistakes. So if when you're giving a presentation and you make a mistake, you're like, it's okay, I'm a human being. I tried, so I made a mistake. And if somebody else makes a mistake, don't be like, ha, 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 ha. It's okay. They're also trying, they made a mistake. Ha, ha, it was funny, finish. Know what makes you unique. Somebody might have great storytelling skills. Somebody might have great technical skills. Somebody might be a great singer. Somebody might have the best cooking hands, right? Know what is your uniqueness. To err is human, that is right. Be upfront, be honest, right? But be polite, right? If you don't agree with something, you can agree to disagree, like written in the next line, but be nice about it, okay? Don't be like, oh, I am just going to say it like it is. And with that, we'll come to questions and queries. Any questions people have? I'm just going to go back a little wherein we were talking about So Amelia said, I'm usually good if I'm well prepared, but if given, yeah, Aarti, tell me. No, Aarti ma'am is here. Okay. Ma'am, go ahead.
Ma'am, you can continue with the interaction,
I guess.
with the question
All
answer
right.
session.
So I'm just going to answer this one last question because this happens to most of us, and this is a very important part. I'm usually good when I'm well prepared. If I've given a topic on the spot, I freeze, right? And that happens. I'm just going to tell you something. If you're given these days, all professionals, you're not like my students where we tell them, okay, don't use phones. So if somebody has given you a topic on the spot, I'm sure they'll not say like, speak right now. Say, I need 2 minutes, leave the room, go someplace quiet, Google it, make notes. Make notes. There is no replacement for a pen and paper. Write small, 2 words on everything. And then come back and say, based on what time you have given me, this is the best I could do. So the person also knows they're being unfair. You also know that I don't need to do everything. Right? Mangalam, how to present ourselves in front of our team. The first thing you need to do is become a team member. That means collaboration, synergizing, knowing your team members by their name. Are they married? Do they have kids? Does anybody have any health issues? Listen carefully. So you should know all of that to connect. Once you connect, however which way you present yourself, hi, I am Mangalam, I'm from so-and-so place, and this is what my motto in life is. This is what I'm passionate about, and I come from this kind of a family. And that should be good enough. During any session, there will be some groups of category of people who are only covering faults of the presentant. How do you handle them? Very good one. You will have, but you know what? That improves you. When you have a question like, I would just say, oh my God, you put me in a spot and I don't have an answer for that. You are brilliant, Ranadeep. I'm just going to write this down. Can I have your phone number? I'll get back to you. As simple as that. And if somebody is obviously disrupting your presentation, then you can always request the mediator to either sound them a warning or ask them to leave. But never be offended by that. Always use that in your benefit. Write it down. Great point. Let me write it down. And you got me there. Just see, we learn something new every day. Let me get back to you on that. And with that, I know we have only 7 minutes. So, anybody else? Anything else? You know, next time we have any workshop, if we do, I'll expect all of you to talk a little more. What is this? Communication, presentation, and hardly any people talking? Not done.
Students,
Right?
you can ask the queries, whatever you have, as we are at the end of the session. So
Sure.
if you want to ask anything or say anything or maybe share anything, you can share your views.
Yeah. So, I've done a lot of sharing. If anybody else wants to contribute on this, or if anybody else has a question.
And meanwhile, ma'am, one more thing I want to tell all the students that I have shared the link, that is the feedback form. And I request all the students to please kindly share your views, your feedback of today's session, and whatever is mentioned in the feedback form, you can share with us regarding the upcoming topics which you would likely to have more sessions, so that we can organize the sessions accordingly. So I request all of you to please fill the form and share your views. And if
This
I,
is a
morning.
good one. Yes,
Can I-
yes.
Hi.
Mr. Bombay. Hi.
Thank you so much for the informative session, ma'am. I really appreciate it. It's a commendable job. Second of all, I have a very quick question. Okay, so see, normally I've been working in Wipro for a very long time, so you probably would find some accent on my language. So, do you think, like, is it really that you have to have an accent when you speak, or is it okay if you go neutral? How would you define that, or how would you say?
Do you
should we
want the
approach?
accent or you don't? Are you struggling with your mother tongue influence, or you're saying you want to neutralize your accent?
I want to neutralize because normally I used to speak to people in UK for the past 7 years, and it has been like so I sort of took up their accent. Now when I speak with US people, you know what the difference is, right?
Yeah.
And
So they
password, and it's like they don't sort of get me. So what is the best way just to come out of this? Because I struggle a lot on that part.
One is practice, and secondly, there are a lot of online, platforms that train you in American English, right? So you can do that, and I would honestly say that YouTube has like so many links for accent, American accent. You can do that. I'm sure Aarti ma'am would have something on mother tongue influence as such, because in our university we have very good programs. In fact, I'm working with students on mother tongue influence right. So there are courses.
You have 5 minutes remaining.
And that is the only way to neutralize the accent. You have to take one of these courses. You have to be phonetically correct. That will require a professional course if you really want to get rid of your accent.
Sure, I will look up to for the session then.
Yeah. But don't let that hold you back, right? Because we're all different. And I can understand you perfectly correct, and I've lived 17 years there. So it's just a matter of practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I face a problem so it's not like the 100 people I speak to is a problem. It's out of those only like 5, 6 on the count. They would say like, could you repeat what you said? And that is what makes me feel bad. If I can't convey myself on the first attempt, is, it's a first impression, which makes count on everything.
True.
So that
But let me tell you
something
something about American people. They're very, very culturally competent, so they're not holding anything against you. So
yeah, absolutely.
go strong.
and ma'am, one more thing. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dwapayan. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes.
For the topic which you have just now suggested for the next session. So we look forward to have such session, which will be more helpful for you. And indeed, ma'am, that was a very, very great session. It was wonderful, and it must be adding value to the knowledge. And students, also one last time, I want to remind you that kindly fill the form. It will be a very great help for us to organize such more sessions in future. And also, I would like to thank Miss Samrita ma'am for sure for an amazing interactive session. And session was helpful, session was informative. But let me tell you, this is just the beginning for all these students. We promise to amaze you in future with such more interactive sessions and such more interactive topics as well. So thank you everyone for being part of the session, and we have enjoyed so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. And I want to really say goodbye to all of you. And thank you so much. You've been an amazing audience and you helped me take this presentation through. And stay in touch with the university, with myself, and all the very best to all of your future endeavors. This is the starting stone. And I'm sure you'll do great things. All right? So stay safe, take good care, and best of luck, all of you.
Yeah, ma'am, to you
Thank
too, and enjoy the weather, everyone. Kindly enjoy the weather and be safe, be healthy. And we are looking forward to have more sessions and looking forward to read your feedback. So I am reminding you again, kindly fill the feedback form and suggest more topics.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all the students to join. And students also, you will get the feedback link via mail as well. So if by any chance you will not fill the form now, so you can get the link in your mail as well. But I request you can take some time and just take 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes and fill the form. Otherwise, you will get it by mail as well.